Today we're going to be working on writing decimals as fractions and percents. Our main goal is to be working towards understanding percentages. And so this is kind of a sample problem about what we would use this for. Students at Westview Middle School are collecting cans of food at their local bank. Their goal is to collect 2,000 cans in 1 month. After 10 days, they have 800 cans of food. What percent of their goal have they reached? So this is where we're working towards being able to get those answers. So the first thing we want to do is write 0.7 as a percent. Now, the first method we're going to use is talking about the placeholder units. So you notice 0.7, what place is it in? Is it in the tenths? Is it in the hundreds? Or is it in the thousands? Or so on and so on. Well, we know that it is, in fact, in the tenths, so we're actually able to write this as a fraction, 7 over 10, and then we just have to add in that 0 to put it over 100. So we get 70 over 100, so we're able to write that percent as a fraction. So that is 70%, sorry, that decimal as it, so 70% is 70 of 100. Percent is always out of 100. So our goal is always set it over 100, but you notice we did have to start it as being over 10. Now, there is another way of just simply moving the decimal place over. Now I'm going to add in a 0. I'd move it over 2 times, because in 100, there's 2 zeros. And we always move it over 2 times. So we're moving. So I'll move it over 2 times, and it gives me 70%. And this is probably the easiest method. This is going to be the method we use the most in class. It's basically what's happening is I'm taking 0.7 and I'm multiplying it by 100. And when I do that, it ends up just moving the decimal place over 2 times. So try 0.3 out changing it to a fraction first. So you pause the video and work a little bit ahead. I'm going to continue on. 0.3 is in the tens place, so once again, I'm going to put it over 10 and just add in that extra 0. So once again, I just add in the 0, and now that's 30%, because I'm looking at that as over 100, so 30%. 0.93, using that mental math, so this is where we move the decimal place. Go ahead and pause and try this one on your own. 0.93. Okay, we're going to move forward. All right, so we're going to move it over 2 times. And so 0.3 became 30, so 0.93 will end up being 93%. So you see that similarities between the two problems. Now write 5/8 as a percent. Use pencil and paper. This is basically us turning this into a division problem. So 5/8, remember that just means divide, so 5 divided by 8 will get me 0.625. And so from there we just start moving our decimal places over. We move it over 2 times and we get 62.5% as our answer. So we change it to a decimal and then we just simply move our decimal places over. So try 3/5 on your own. Pause it and work ahead. All right, we're going to continue. 3/5, well, that's 3 divided by 5. 3 divided by 5 gives me 0.6 as my answer. We can add that extra 0 in. And then we just move the decimal place to the right 2 times, and we get 60%. Anytime we're trying to find the percentage, we move to the right 2 times. Now, this is a mental math activity. Our goal is always to put the denominator over 100. So what would it take to get 5 to become 100? Well, as we see, we'd multiply by 20. When we do that to both top and bottom. And 3 times 20 gives me 60. 60 over 100, well, that's our percent, 60%, because we have our answer over 100. Now, several of our problems are going to be worded as a story. So if 27 out of 50 people have a newspaper delivered to their homes, what percent of these people have newspapers delivered to their home? So this phrasing right here, the 27 out of 50, that's basically saying 27 over 50. So this is basically a fraction for us. And so then we continue. We have our two different methods. We can simply turn it into a decimal and get 0.54. Or you can think, what would it take to get 50 to become 100? Well, I'd multiply by 2, and I'd do 27 times 2, which would also be 54. So my answer ends up being 54% because I moved my decimal over, or I do that other mental method. It's really up to you which way you go, but either way, you're going to get 54% as your answer. So 54% of the people have a newspaper at their home, and when you can do the counterpart of that, 46% don't. So try this one out, pause the video. I'll give you a little hint if you needed it. 10 out of 50. So we're going to do 10 over 50, which 10 over 50 gives us that shortcut of multiplying by 2, or we could have divided that and gotten 0.2 as our answer. So 0.2 is not the answer, it's just the method to get there. 0.2 becomes 0.20, which is 20%. So 20% of the students have blue backpacks. All right, this is your practice problems to bring in. We expect you to have these solved and worked and brought in. Consider this possible quiz questions. Thank you.